Well, here we are back again, and as you can see, the camera isn't anywhere near as good as the other one. This is our backup system, and I wish it was better, and it's not. But it does mean that we can carry on for a little while, and hopefully have a chat to you about various things. Uh, One of the people I have a great admiration for people who have sort of walked in the wings of broadcasting for so many years, and they're so talented, and they've never really had the choice or the chance. And one of them, if I can just find, is a lady called Jane Watkins, and she hives out of um, Hastings. She's a very funny lady, but very assured in front of the camera. And we've got a little clip of her here, and it would be nice. Here we are. Let's see whether this will work.
Hi, I'm Jane at Mirador Television, and I love to recycle, upcycle, renovate, decorate, paint, and if I can find any old junk, I'm happy to turn it into something else. So in the next few months, I'm going to give you some ideas and show you what I'm up to at home, from turning tins into bins, making garden cushions, and my recent find was a Lloyd Loom ottoman, which has a wonky leg, but I'm going to try and renovate the leg and find some lovely fabrics. So lots going on. This week, I'm just going to show you a couple of old cot bumpers that I found hanging around the house from some time ago. And I thought, well, I don't want to waste the foam. I'll turn them into some seat cushions for the garden bench.
Well, now, Jane was cut off in her prime simply because of COVID. Some of the things she said she was going to do there, she wasn't going to do, and we're encouraging her not to do it. Not because it's not interesting, and not because she's not good at it, but we do have a very interesting project where we're going to have a virtual pub, and Jane has said that she will take charge of that and bring it to us. And I hope that we might be able to start that sometime in May, although one can never tell how long some of these things are going to take. Now, I'm just going to wander around a little bit because I've been sitting outside this bakeout with my coffee. The town is beginning to come alive now, as it hasn't been, because I've been down here at this time several mornings in the past couple of months, and it was pretty dead. But now it is beginning to liven up, and you can see there's some school kids on the way to school, people on to. Sorry, I just got a little message from Stephen Catlin there, who is the man who keeps an eye on the district council and all the councils for that matter, but the district council particularly, because they're the people that get our money, and they actually are supposed to activate a lot of the things that we do, and there are some things that they haven't. They keep on missing, for instance, the deadline for their submission to the Charity Commission for taxes, and yes, they're a big organisation. You try missing your council tax once, just once in a while, and you'll soon find out how quickly they can react. I'm sitting here because I'm overlooking the River Ouse. I'm not quite sure whether you can see it at the back. People will be passing behind me, which makes it rather lively and rather nice that we've got these people out and about on a lovely morning in Lewis. Our weather here is much the same as it has been. We're going to have sun most of the day. The breeze is just a little breezier than it has been. And as I said earlier, I was reading my newspaper yesterday for 5 minutes in the precinct, and the breeze came and took it and, and gave it to the person next to me. But All in all, I must say that the temperature is going to reach about 14 or 15 today. All in all, it makes a very pleasant occasion. And I would like to think that this is going to be a prelude to a summer which will restore our spirits. But I was really very, very down and annoyed yesterday. First of all, let me tell you about being homeless, because we pay lip service. Oh, we're doing this for the homeless and that for the homeless. But you know, it came home to me because am I homeless? I had to prematurely come out of where I was living, and so far I haven't found somewhere else to live. That's not because I can't; it's because I haven't. But I was at my dentist yesterday, and of course he said, "No, how do we change the address?" And we laughed, and he said, "No fixed abode," and that's me at the moment. No fixed abode. Hopefully that will be resolved in a day or two, and we'll be back to some sort of normality. But can you imagine those people who are long-term homeless? And some of the people, when I've been talking about homeless, some of the people that I've known and who are good, solid citizens and have terrific talent, have come to me and said that they have been homeless in the past, and it surprised me. And they understood what I was talking about, because it isn't at all a pleasant concept. The big thing is that you have no base. I spent a lot of years wandering around the world, working in odd places like Kosovo and Nigeria and Serbia and Russia. And as a consequence, I was used to being away from home and used to sometimes putting up with very difficult circumstances. But I'd always got home base. I'd always got somewhere to come back to and a loving family there waiting to see me. After I'd been back for a little while, they couldn't wait to get rid of me again. But oh, there we go. Nice little morning coffee. A nice little sip of. You see, there are people wandering past me all the time. It's great. It gives a sense of vibrancy to this town. It's a lovely town. But being homeless is no fun, believe me. So the next time that you want to kick somebody who's sleeping in a shop doorway, do give some thought to the fact that they might have had some circumstance that pushed them to where they are. We don't know, but don't be don't condemn straight away. They're a bit different to the professional beggars who sashay into town about 10 o'clock every morning and go home at tea time, 5 o'clock, and make a small fortune looking sympathetic. That's different. And if one of the areas where that is very prevalent is in Romania. And I spent, I lived in Romania for a year and a half, and I went there on various missions at least another half dozen times. So I rather know Romania reasonably well. And certainly they know how to turn out professional beggars, and it's the only place in the world that I've ever been mugged. I'm pretty savvy when it comes to wandering around and how to protect yourself in areas where mugging is prevalent. But they actually got me on this occasion. And it was a 3 or 4 gang, and they did it pretty well. They only got my phone, but nonetheless, it's an upsetting feeling being mugged. How did we get onto that? Oh, because there are professional beggars. So you must actually differentiate between that and people who are truly homeless for no reason of their own. So that was one thing that was upsetting me, and the other is, the mealy-mouthed retail financial industry. Just down there behind us is a bank. I was going to be unkind and I was going to name it, but I won't for the moment. But I've been with that bank for 40 years, perhaps, in other parts of the world than this. And I always had a very good relationship with the manager. If I was stretched a little, I could go in and I could talk to him about the circumstance and where we were and so on and so forth. Fine managers they had too. Then they did away with the manager, didn't they? And they put in computers. So if you go in now and you've got a problem, you talk to somebody and they say, well, okay, come in here. And they throw in a computer and it comes back and says, no discussion, no. That's got to stop. if you're going to be in retail banking, be in retail banking and actually put people in place who can make decisions. Because if you're going to do it remotely the way you are at the moment, there is going to be a revolution. We're going to kick you out. We're going to stop you. Because, even the government have said we've got to look after elderly people. And yet elderly people are not immune from getting these letters that are poured out by computers. And really, they are stinking letters. And several other financial institutions. I actually made a proposal of marriage to one lady from a credit card company. She was so delightful, and we had such a laugh. But she agreed. She solved my problem right then and there, and she apologized for what the computer was doing. But she said we can't do anything about it. It just kicks in, and that is not acceptable. It is simply not acceptable. And if this government won't do something about it, then what we're going to have to do is have a little bit of people power and do something about it ourselves. We cannot go around as a community saying, my golly, we're worried about health, mental health, and so on, and then batter older people, or batter anybody for that matter, batter our older people with these computer-generated letters and so on, and particularly when at the top it says, we are here to help you. No, you're not. Or if you are, it's certainly not reflected. Get some bloody public relations going, some of you. And I got really, really down about this yesterday afternoon. I really did, because they only consider their own particular position. And it's just not on. And it's not on for them to say, we're here to help you, when they're not. That is false advertising, and I think they should be dinged for it. Anyway, I really got very upset, and to even people that I like, I sent an email, and I said, look, don't bother me this afternoon. I'm so pissed off that I'm going to try hard to sit down. And actually what I did do is I edited, in the calm and the quiet, I edited a nice program by Terry Headington. It is going out, I think, even as we speak. It's on Facebook and YouTube and so on. Terry is a lovely lady. She's in Lewis, but she looks after a group of mentally challenged, shall we say, young people in New York. I mean, it's fabulous cooperation. And in this particular instance, she got Jonathan Swan, who is a local character, because every time you mention the name Jonathan Swan, people say, oh yeah, what a character. And he is a character, but he's a silversmith. And he showed these young people right across from here in Lewis to New York, with the help of Terry, whose the program is called Terry's Pick and Mix, in how to take some silver and turn it into a brooch or a ring or whatever. And it's a fascinating program. It's a bit long for our program. It runs to almost 20 minutes. But once I started to edit it, and once I started to get into it, I realized I was quite carried away with it. So do give it a try. Terry's Pick and Mix, all about a local Lewis silversmith, but talking to a group of very feisty, because I've been in front of them. Oh boy, are they feisty. And anybody, incidentally, who wants to hijack the word feisty and say that it's sexist or whatever, because I know there are some people, is get lost, get stuffed. Stop trying to alter the English language to your own particular stupid views. The English language is beautiful, and feisty gives the impression of being lively and active and ready to take things on. So go away and stuff feisty into your back pocket or whatever, if you don't like the word, but don't try to impose your views on the rest of us. Thank you very much. Enjoyed that. Anyway, Terry's program had Jonathan Swan demonstrate to these young people, and therefore to us, how to use, actually he uses a cuttlefish, I think it is, cuttlefish shell, to start the process, and it's quite fascinating. Anyway, I've forgotten how I got onto that. Never mind. This is a good ramble this morning. I'm sorry the picture isn't better. We'll try to do better next time, as they say. But it's only because I was so angry with. That's right. I was editing this program yesterday, and because I was angry with, and really angry with our society and the way it's going. And if we can't change for the better, then let's get rid of the things that won't change. But if we're going to be docile, then all we can expect is to be bullied and beaten by those people in authority. And there's no sense in saying, oh dear, look, they're stuffing their pockets with money. There's corruption loose. It's because all we do is we're feeding it. If we're not prepared to actually have a go and tough, is we get what we can expect. And I was saying yesterday that there is that phrase, is be careful what you wish for. And it's that in fact, the whole phrase is be careful what you wish for, you might get it. Words to that effect. And when you think about it, isn't that the truth? Anyway, Mirador Television, out of Lewis. Let's see whether we can just play another little video, because you don't want to watch me all the time. But by the same token, because we're experimenting because of my anger, that we are outside in our Fresco. And it's gone not too badly so far. We've got a bit of stuttery here and a bit of stuttery there. But let's try this one and see how it goes.
When you've missed the train, don't despair. Have a nice cup of coffee. And perhaps a mince pie. At the runaway on Lewis Station. After that, why worry about the next train? The runaway on Lewis Station. Relaxation beyond compare.
Well, there we are. As I say, rather a poor camera. I'm sorry about that. It's 8:26, so we're almost ready to say goodbye. We tried doing it al fresco this morning. It's been half a success and half not. We'll work on the half not because if it's going to be a decent summer, it will be nice to talk to you at 7:30 in the morning from outside rather than cooped up in a studio. And we can go to various places in Lewis because it's very historic. very historic indeed. And there are many sites that we can actually broadcast from. Look forward to doing so. But that's us for this morning. I'm Keith Hayes. This is Mirador Television, and with a little stutter and start, this is who we are and where we are, and we look forward to perhaps intriguing you enough if you find us to come back and join us. Oh, well, there we are. We're back again. And just to say goodbye, I was just looking at the time there, 8:29. Just once again, the headlines this morning, which is that India has now got rampant COVID expansion, if you want to use it. It's sweeping through the country. And that was one of the countries that was on the green list until very, very recently. And it just shows that this dreadful thing is really... it's not over yet. So let's be on our guard. They used to say in Hill Street Blues, be careful out there. Till tomorrow, good morning, I think. I'm always thinking, well, this is the Thinking Man's program. They're thinking what I can do next. Doesn't work.